Every NFL franchise has legendary numbers in its history. The Cowboys have number 8, number 88, and many others. The Packers have 4, 12, and a number of others in their storied history. The Cincinnati Bengals have 9, 14, 85, and a myriad of others as well. But Cincinnati also has a number that tells a very different story. A jersey number connected to shattered dreams, resurrecting careers, personal demons, career-ending injuries, and heartbreaking loss. It's 2 digits, 32. And over the past 4 decades, it has become one of the strangest coincidences in Bengals history. Long before there was Carson Palmer, before there was Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and the Bengals we know today, before even Boomer Esiason became a household name, there was Stanley Wilson. Wilson arrived in Cincinnati in 1983 as an explosive running back who looked capable of becoming one of the league's next stars. His speed was electric. His versatility made him dangerous every time he touched the football. By 1988, the Cincinnati Bengals were on the doorstep of greatness, led by an innovative offense that Wilson was a part of. They had a 3-headed monster at running back, and the Bengals had reached the biggest stage imaginable. It was Super Bowl 23. But just hours before kickoff, everything changed. Wilson disappeared from the team hotel, and nobody knew where he was. When teammates finally located him, he was suffering another drug relapse that had plagued him throughout his college and pro career.
A lot of the players took their playbooks and slammed them on the ground. Their hits went down, and they got kicked in the gut.
He never played a single snap in the biggest game of his life. Ultimately, the Bengals lost to the San Francisco 49ers in last-second fashion.
Remember, the turf wasn't watered right, and it was coming up in chunks. And you had Ickey Woods and Stanford Jennings and James Brooks were all long striding bend back runners, and when they do that, that turf would come loose. But Stanley was a wide striding, kind of Barry Sanders runner, and he would have had people missing.
Instead of the Bengals cementing a 1980s dynasty of their own, San Francisco furthered their legacy. Wilson was suspended indefinitely. His NFL career was over at just 27 years old. Unfortunately, the tragedy didn't end there. Years after his playing days were over, Wilson continued to struggle with addiction and repeated incarcerations. The first unforgettable Bengals number 32 wasn't unfortunately remembered for what happened on the field, but for what never did. Years later in 1995, while the Bengals struggled to recover from that Super Bowl loss, hope returned. The Bengals owned the number 1 overall pick in that draft, and they selected Penn State superstar running back Kijana Carter. Many scouts and pundits believed he was the safest prospect in that draft. Power, speed, and most of all, character. Everything you'd want in a franchise cornerstone piece, particularly in that era of football where running backs were centric to team success. Fans believed he would finally turn Cincinnati around. Then came one preseason game. One carry, one cut, and one devastating injury. Carter tore multiple ligaments in his left knee before ever playing a regular season snap in the NFL. It remains one of the most infamous preseason injuries in NFL history. Carter ended up having an admirable career, but he battled through years of additional injuries. Showing incredible perseverance, he came back from a number of those injuries and still had some productivity, but the explosive superstar everyone envisioned never fully emerged, especially for the Bengals. Cincinnati didn't just lose a running back. They lost the future and the hope that they thought they had drafted. Then, finally, number 32 became a symbol of success. After wallowing on the bench for the first couple of years, Rudy Johnson burst onto the scene in 2003. He wasn't flashy. He wasn't loud. He wasn't even that fast. He simply punished defenses, be it with his physical style of play, his signature slow-moving spin move, or a myriad of other traits. After replacing Corey Dillon in his star career, Johnson rushed for more than 1,400 yards in back-to-back seasons for the Bengals. And he helped lead Cincinnati back to relevance alongside Carson Palmer, Chad Johnson, TJ Hushmanzada, Willie Anderson, and a myriad of others in the mid-2000s. He became a Pro Bowler. He was one of the toughest and most productive runners in franchise history. For many Bengals fans growing up in the early 2000s, number 32 and the chants that went along with it belonged to Rudy. It finally seemed like the numbers story had changed from past players. Then, years after football and Rudy's career ended, tragedy struck. Rudy Johnson died unexpectedly at 25 at just 45 years old. A player who had represented stability, quiet strength, and consistency was gone, and far too soon. After Rudy Johnson left the Cincinnati Bengals, another running back inherited the number 32 jersey. And once again, the number found new life. Cedric Benson came to Cincinnati after a disappointing start with the Chicago Bears. He was a top pick and never materialized there. Many believed he was finished, but the Bengals were in the midst of rebuilding their team with veterans who had been thrown on the scrap heap years prior. Instead, Benson reinvented himself with the Bengals. He became the heartbeat of the Bengals offense and helped lead them to the playoffs. He rushed for over 1,000 yards in 3 straight seasons with the team, and fans embraced him because he played angry, but also because they saw the motivation and the resurrection of a career. Physical, fearless, and most importantly, determined. Then, in August of 2019, the football world was stunned. Benson died in a motorcycle crash in Austin, Texas, at only 36 years old. Yet another beloved number 32 gone far too soon. Stanley Wilson, Kijana Carter, Rudy Johnson, and Cedric Benson. 4 completely different stories and 4 completely different players with different career trajectories, different eras, different personalities, different circumstances. Yet somehow one Bengals jersey number connects them all. One career ended before it really ever truly began. Another career was derailed by injury. One life was consumed by addiction. And 2 beloved Bengals running backs passed away far earlier than anyone expected. Of course, jersey numbers don't create a destiny. Jerseys aren't cursed unless you're the superstitious kind. Football just doesn't work that way. But sports have always been built on stories. And sometimes coincidences become part of a franchise's folklore, whether it is some of the most storied franchises in NFL history or not. For Cincinnati Bengals fans, number 32 isn't just another uniform. It's a reminder of how quickly greatness can come, can disappear, and unfortunately, how short life can be. But most importantly, it's how the people underneath the helmets matter far more than the statistics they leave behind.